Well, hello and welcome back. Say, big news today on the channel. I just got this in the mail. I mean, about 2 hours ago. It says on the side, Steve Wilson Remix. Yeah, I got the Steve Wilson Remix box. There's like 5 different titles in there, 6 records total. And this is one of the LPs or the Yes album. And first of all, right here, I'd like to thank Simon Black. He reached out to me because he knew from listening to my channel, there's a lot of people asking questions about these records because they're not sure how they're going to sound. And they were asking me how do I think they sound, and I said, well, I don't have it. And that's something I would really like to get. I'd like to get that box and review it on the channel, and then I can answer that question. Well, he reached out to me because he heard me saying that, and he had the box. He said, listen, Ron, I'd be happy to send it to you so you could review it. And I was like dumped on it. I was short for words. I'm like, wow, this is so gracious. It's so nice. And so I said, sure, I'd be happy to have that. If you'd be nice enough to send it, I'd be glad to review that. So here's the first one. Out of the box, the Yes album. Then we have Close to the Edge. And look, the cover's different. Yeah. It's kind of like a Steve Wilson remix, and they also remixing the artwork a little bit. So the covers are actually unique. And look at Fragile. Again, same thing. They're doing the Steve Wilson remix on the artwork. And the gatefolds are real nice. They're real thick. It's not those cheesy, UK type covers. They're nice. They're really nice. But we're going to get into all that when I do the review of the records. I haven't listened to them yet. Like I said, I just got them. But I wanted to show y'all what's coming up. Going to be good. They changed the lettering here. And this is, they got some fish on here, which on a lot of records it wasn't, but they were green fish. This little things that they change in here. And Relay is the last one. And this was always one of my most favorite artwork of all the Yes album. I thought it was really cool. It's got the same label as the original as well. Now, today, I want to talk about some records and some stories about some of these bands and the labels that they were on, and maybe there's some of the stories about the folks that were in the bands, and some of my favorite records from the bands that they were in. And this is Single Gun Theory. They're out of Australia, and the thing about this record is it's Network Records. This was originally Cool Cat Records, but and the thing about Cool Cat Records, they started in 1988, and they were very instrumental in bringing the Detroit techno sound to the UK. That's what Network is known for. The Single Gun Theory here, they're from Australia, 1986. They're what you call a synth pop band, synthesizer pop. Really good, really nice catchy tunes. They're more, they're more on the synth and a little less on the pop. And what I really like about it, there's female vocals on here, and they have a kind of a haunting type of vocal sound, as well as they start out, the side A, song 1 is got a little kind of an Arabian kind of vibe going on in the song, and then the next song doesn't, but then the third one they're starting a bit with that Arabian again, and it kind of goes like that through the record, where they kind of were weaving that little thread through there. So this band is from Australia. Single Gun Theory. Here's another Single Gun Theory. This is a 12-inch, and it's got Open the Skies extended remix and the Red Sunshine on side B. Both those titles were on that other record. Okay, Front Line Assembly. These guys are out of Canada. Okay, they're from 1986. This is what you call Canadian Electro Industrial. Now these are also kind of a synth-based band, but now we're not really doing any kind of pop. Now we're getting into that kind of industrial feel for the music. And this band was started by Bob Lieb. He left Skinny Puppy. Now Skinny Puppy was out of Vancouver. And Vancouver, well, that's where Rachel the Music Man, that's where she's from. So I wanted to bring her up for a minute. I'm going to leave a link to her down in the description. So Rachel does what you call live streams. She does one in the early part of the day and then one in the later part of the day. And so she's got a big audience all the way. A lot of people from the UK are on her show because she does it earlier in the day. So for them it's evening already. And then she does a later one for us guys. But we're on it all the time. I'm always on there joking around and kicking around. So if you're not subscribed to her, you're not going to get the notification. And it's got kind of the same group of folks on there talking about records and pressings and showing records and talking about stuff, VC stuff, which is a lot of fun. So if you subscribe to Rachel, you get a notification, or it'll come up on there and you'll be able to see that. But Frontline Assembly, like I said, they were Bill Lieb left Skinny Puppy and formed Frontline Assembly. They're on Wax Track Records. Now Wax Track Records is out of Chicago, but originally they were from Denver, Colorado. A guy had a record store, and he started this label out of his record store, and then eventually he moved to Chicago. And the song that I really love on this is The Right Hand of Heaven. And this is the Corrosion LP right here from 1988. Next up, Bob Mould, Workbook. Okay, for those, there's a lot of people know about Bob Mould because they know about Husker Du, right? Husker Du started out in 1979 in my hometown of St. Paul, Minnesota. And they were on, like a lot of those punk bands of the day, they were on SST records. And Workbook is Bob's debut album from 1989. Now this album is not got the Husker Du sound. It doesn't have that punk sound. It's got more of a folk influence. And he does play acoustic guitar on some of these tracks. But, Bob can play that, electric guitar. And he's got that sound, that heavy rock fuzzy sound going on a lot of different other tracks on this. So it's still got some of that Husker Du influence on the guitar, but not so much in the makeup of the music so much. I like it better than the Husker Du stuff, personally. And it's on Virgin Records. Bob Mould. Smithereens. What the great attraction about this song, this LP for me is, it's A Girl Like You. That song, A Girl Like You? That's the hit off of this record. Now, this record is not as strong as these other records I've been talking about. I've had a few of these Smithereens records, but I really like that song, A Girl Like You. They really can rock. They really rock that thing out. So I've got the record for that. Like I said, their album, it's not every song after song is a great song, but they string together a few great songs in here to make the album worthwhile. Now, they're on Enigma Records, which is a subsidiary of Capitol, which is on the Rainbow label here. And this is their third album from 1989. And they're from, Smithereens are from New Jersey. And they formed their band in 1980. Look, we got here. PIL, Public Image Ltd. And this is number 9. Public Image Ltd. 9. That's the name of the LP. So, the Johnny Rotten, this guy called John Lydon, he's the one that started this band. And he used to be with the Sex Pistols. And the Sex Pistols were only around for about, 3 years or so. They broke up in 78. And I remember seeing an interview with him with John Lydon, and they asked him, "What's he going to do next?" And he said, "Well, he's not going to do anything right now. He's got to get rid of his current management team and all that because they're going to take half his money." And it didn't take him long, and he formed Public Image Ltd. Now he's the head kind of songwriter and vocalist for the group, and that really, his vocals are so strong. He's the force behind all this stuff. His vocals are so strong and so good on here. He's kind of got a little bit of that Brian Ferry kind of quiver in his voice sometimes. And if you love Brian Ferry, you're probably going to love John Lydon as well. Now, the other LP that I have. Now, one of the other things on this, what I first heard, this was like the first record I ever heard of this Public Image Ltd. And I heard the song that was on MTV, or it was probably on, Much Music, and it was Disappointed. And they used to have a show on Much Music, was on Sunday night from like 9 to 12, and they'd play all the new wave, all the stuff that wasn't on the regular, and that was my favorite show. Brave New Waves, I think they used to call that. And man, I would listen to all that, and I'd find out about stuff like this. And so once I found out about it, I really liked that song, Disappointed, and Happy was on here. And so when I went to the record store, I did find a bunch of their records, but I really love this Happy ? This other LP. This is the one previous. This is their 6th record that they put out. And again, this is a UK press here. And what's cool about this, I'll show you the label because it does have a cool label on it. Oh, first the record's in the wrong way. There it is. PIL. That's their logo. And that's a really nice sounding UK press. And again, this one is a real strong record. Lots of great songs on it. And it's kind of a progressive new wave dance kind of a music. Sex Pistols were punk. And so these guys are kind of referred to as post-punk or new wave kind of a sound. And they were on the Virgin Records label. Okay, the next band up, Simple Minds. Okay, Simple Minds is a band, they're from the UK. And this LP here is Once Upon a Time. It's from 1985. This one is a picture disc. This is a UK picture disc. I also had a original Canadian press of Once Upon a Time, and I compared them both, and I think the UK picture disc sounded better than the Canadian, or there wasn't any discernible difference. I just thought this was cooler, so I kept this. And I picked it up, I think it was about 86, 87 when I bought this. And I can still remember on Much Music, the old videos where he'd be singing around, "Sanctify yourself." He's pumping that fist, man. That's such a great song. And they're a Scottish rock band, okay? They were formed in Glasgow in 1977. They're what you call, again, a post-punk new wave type band. And an interesting fact, the Breakfast Club. There was a song that the soundtrack wasn't written by the bands. It was the people wrote that soundtrack for the music for that movie, and there was a song called "Don't You Forget About Me," right? And they went to Brian Ferry first of all, and they said, "Hey Brian, we need you to do a cover for this song. We need you to record this song for us." And he said, "Man, I got a gal over here. I got this one down the road. I got one over here. I'm just so busy. I don't have time to do any kind of stuff like that." And then guess who they went to next? Billy Idol? Yeah, went to Billy Idol. Of course, he was big star in those days. And he was basically the same thing. I've got, stuff going on here and stuff going on there. So, I thought I had read somewhere they actually kind of wrote this with Simple Minds in mind, but finally they got to them. They recorded the song, and we all know it was a huge hit on that Breakfast Club soundtrack, which, you know, a lot of people have bought that because it's such a great soundtrack, a lot of great songs on it, and that really helped propel, you know, Simple Minds, got them a lot more viewership, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. And then at last but not least, I've got a 45 RPM version of Sanctify Yourself, and this has on side A the specially remixed version of Sanctify Yourself, and on side B it's got the Sanctify Yourself dub version. So it's only one song per side on that 45 RPM. And so thank you very much for watching the video today, and don't forget, over at ronbaudry.com there's a lot of records I have over there for sale, and as well there's a link there's a form you can fill out if you know about some records that you would like me to review. Then please fill out that form and let me know about it. As well as there's a link to the PayPal pool over there. And I would again like to thank Simon for his graciousness and lending me that record. And now we're going to stop the video. Thanks for watching, because I got some Yes albums I need to listen to. And bye for now.